Dear friends, today I want to talk about something that each of us faces at some point in life. The unexpected twists, the struggles, and the situations that don't always go the way we plan. Sometimes life puts us in a place where things feel heavy, unfair, or even impossible to handle. In those moments, we often wish we had more control, more power to erase the pain, or more opportunities to fix everything instantly. But here's the truth. Not everything is in our hands, and that's okay. Because while we may not be able to control every situation, we can always control how we respond to it. Acceptance doesn't mean weakness. It means understanding where you stand right now, without denial, without fighting against reality. When you accept a situation, you create clarity. That clarity gives you the strength to think, to grow, and to make the right moves forward. And that's where change begins. Change doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't come from complaining or resisting. It comes from accepting what is, then deciding what can be improved step by step. In this journey, I'll share with you 10 powerful points that will help you embrace life's realities. Stay calm when storms arrive, and then turn those realities into opportunities for growth and transformation. So let's dive in and learn how to accept the situation and change it for the better. Point 1. Acceptance is the first step toward freedom. Life has this strange way of testing us. Sometimes, no matter how hard we try, things don't turn out the way we hoped. You may work for months on a project and watch it collapse overnight. You may give your heart to someone only to feel it break, or you may plan your future step by step, only to find the path completely blocked. In such moments, frustration, anger, and hopelessness come naturally. We keep asking ourselves, why me? Why now? Why is this happening? But the truth is, these questions rarely bring peace. They only keep us stuck in the pain of resistance. That's where the real power of acceptance comes in. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or saying that what happened is okay. It simply means facing reality as it is. When you say to yourself, yes, this is where I am right now. I didn't expect it. I don't like it, but I accept that this is my reality. You immediately stop fighting with life. Think of it like trying to swim in the ocean. If you fight the waves, you only get tired and pulled under. But when you accept the flow of the water and learn how to move with it, you gain the energy and clarity to rise above. Acceptance is the first step toward freedom because it clears the fog in your mind. When you refuse to accept, you waste precious time replaying the past, imagining what could have been, or blaming yourself and others. But once you accept, your mental energy shifts. You can see the situation clearly and ask, all right, what's the next step I can take? What can I actually do from here? This mindset doesn't make the pain disappear, but it gives you direction, and that direction is what creates hope. Let me share a simple example. Imagine you lost your job unexpectedly. At first, the natural reaction is panic, anger, and maybe even shame. You might spend days blaming the company, the economy, or your luck. But notice what happens during those days. You don't move forward. You don't look for opportunities. You don't prepare yourself for the next chapter. You're just stuck. The turning point comes the moment you accept, yes, I lost this job. That's my reality. I can't change what has already happened, but I can decide what to do next. That single acceptance shifts you from being powerless to being empowered. It opens your eyes to possibilities you couldn't see before. Acceptance also teaches you peace. Think about all the things in life that are beyond your control. The weather, traffic jams, other people's choices, or the past itself. No matter how much you fight them, you can't bend them to your will. But when you accept them, you save yourself from unnecessary stress. Instead of screaming at traffic, you turn up your favorite music. Instead of regretting a mistake forever, you treat it as a lesson. Instead of resenting people who hurt you, you choose to release that burden and move forward. This is not weakness, it is strength. It takes far more courage to accept and move on than to fight endlessly against what you cannot change. Most importantly, acceptance is not the end of the journey. It is only the beginning. Many people confuse acceptance with surrender. They think if they accept a situation, it means they're okay with staying there forever. But that's not true. Acceptance is the solid ground you need before you can take action. Imagine trying to build a house on water. It would collapse immediately. But if you build on solid ground, the structure stands firm. In the same way, when you accept reality, you create a stable foundation. From there, you can build change step by step. So the first lesson in Accept the Situation and Change This is simple yet powerful. Free yourself through acceptance. Stop resisting what already is. Stop wasting energy on denial, blame, and what ifs. Instead, open your eyes and say, "This is my starting point." Once you do that, your heart becomes lighter, your mind becomes clearer, and your spirit becomes stronger. And that's when real change begins, because only when you stop fighting with life can you truly start living it. Point 2, change begins with your mindset. After you've accepted the situation, the next step is shifting the way you think about it. This is where mindset comes in. Your mindset is like the filter through which you see life. If the filter is filled with negativity, fear, or self-pity, everything looks worse than it really is. But if the filter is clear with positivity, strength, and determination, you'll find solutions where others only see problems. Two people can face the same storm in life, yet one drowns while the other learns to sail. The difference isn't always in their resources or luck. It's in their mindset. The one who believes, "I'm finished, there's no way out," ends up stuck. The one who says, "This hurts, but I can figure something out," ends up growing stronger. That's the power of perspective. Changing your mindset doesn't mean pretending the situation isn't painful. It means choosing not to let that pain define your entire future. For example, imagine failing at something important, an exam, a project, or even a relationship. It's natural to feel disappointed, but the key is what you tell yourself afterward. If your inner voice says, "I'm useless, I'll never succeed," you're closing the door to growth. But if you say, "This was tough, but I can learn, I can try again, and I can do better," then you've already taken the first step toward change. This is where self-talk plays a massive role. Pay attention to the words you use with yourself every day. If you constantly repeat phrases like, "I can't," or "nothing ever works out," then your mind begins to believe it, and your actions follow that belief. On the other hand, if you train yourself to say, "I can improve," or "I'm capable of finding a way," your brain starts searching for opportunities instead of excuses. What you feed your mind shapes the reality you live in. Another powerful tool for shifting mindset is gratitude. Even in the darkest moments, there are always small things to be thankful for. It could be your health, your skills, your friends, or even just the fact that you get another chance to try. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it changes the way you carry them. When you notice what's still good in your life, you build the strength to face what's difficult. It reminds you that not everything is lost, and that reminder is often enough to keep hope alive. Your mindset is also influenced by the company you keep. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not those who drag you down. If you're around voices that constantly complain, you'll start believing life is hopeless. But if you're around voices that encourage, inspire, and push you to grow, your perspective changes. You start believing in possibilities, and that belief creates the courage to act. Remember, acceptance gives you peace, but mindset gives you power. Acceptance tells you, "This is where I am." Mindset asks, "Where can I go from here?" Without acceptance, you stay in denial. Without the right mindset, you stay stuck. But when you combine both, you become unstoppable. So when life throws you into a tough place, stop and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself right now? Is it a story of defeat or a story of hope. If it's the first, change it. Rewrite the story in your mind, because your thoughts today become your reality tomorrow. The journey of change always begins within. Before your circumstances improve, your perspective has to improve. That's why your mindset is not just important, it's everything. Point 3, focus on what you can control. One of the biggest reasons people feel stuck in life is because they spend all their energy worrying about things that are outside their control. We stress about the weather, about what people think of us, about decisions others make, or about events that have already happened. The truth is, none of those things are in our hands. The more we fight against what we cannot control, the more powerless we feel. But the moment we shift our focus to what we can control, everything begins to change. Think about it. You can't control how other people treat you, but you can control how you respond to them. You can't control the traffic on the road, but you can control whether you use that time to complain or to listen to something inspiring. You can't control the mistakes you made yesterday, but you can control what you learn from them today. This mindset shift saves you from wasting energy on battles you can never win and gives you strength to win the battles that truly matter. It's like carrying 2 buckets. One is full of things you can't change, the other is full of things you can. If you keep pouring your time, energy, and emotions into the first bucket, you'll always feel empty. But if you pour them into the second bucket, your actions, your choices, your habits, you'll start to see progress. Even small changes in this area can create a huge difference in your life. Let's take an example. Suppose you fail an exam. You can't change the questions you missed or the grade you got. That's outside your control, but you can control how you prepare next time. You can study differently, manage your time better, or seek help from a mentor. By focusing on what's within your reach, you turn failure into a stepping stone rather than a dead end. This principle applies to every area of life. If someone disrespects you, you can't force them to change their behavior. But you can set boundaries, decide not to let their words define you, and surround yourself with people who appreciate your value. If you lose a job, you can't control the company's decision, but you can control your attitude, your willingness to learn new skills, and your determination to find new opportunities. The moment you put your energy into the things you can influence, you regain a sense of power and direction. Another key point here is discipline. Often the things within our control are not glamorous or easy. Waking up early, saving money, practicing daily, eating healthy. These may seem small, but they build the foundation of a strong life. While others are stuck complaining about the unfairness of the world, you'll be quietly building yourself with consistent actions. Over time, that focus creates results that complaints never will. So when you feel overwhelmed, pause and ask yourself, am I focusing on what I can control, or am I wasting my energy on what I can't? That simple question can redirect your thoughts and give you clarity. Life will always have storms, but if you keep your hands on the steering wheel, your choices, your reactions, your daily efforts, you'll always find a way forward. In the end, freedom is not about controlling the world. It's about controlling yourself in the world. And when you master that, no situation can hold you back for long. Point 4, take responsibility for your life. Once you've accepted the situation and shifted your mindset toward what you can control, the next powerful step is taking full responsibility for your life. Responsibility means owning your choices, your actions, and even your reactions. It's about saying, no matter what happens to me, I will decide what I do with it. The step may feel heavy at first, but it is actually the key to freedom and growth. Too often, people get stuck blaming others for their circumstances. I can't succeed because my family didn't support me. I'm unhappy because of what someone did to me years ago. I can't move forward because life has been unfair. While these statements may carry some truth, they also trap you in the role of a victim. When you see yourself as a victim, You give away your power. You hand your life over to people and events that may never change. But when you take responsibility, you reclaim that power. You remind yourself that even if life hasn't been fair, you still hold the pen to write the next chapter. Responsibility is not about blaming yourself for everything. It's about recognizing that while you can't always control what happens, you can control how you respond. If someone betrayed you, that's their action. But how you heal, how you grow, and how you move forward, that's your responsibility. If you failed at something, it doesn't mean you're worthless. It simply means you need to change your approach, learn new skills, or try again with better preparation. One powerful thing about responsibility is that it builds confidence. The moment you say, I am in charge of my life, you stop waiting for others to save you. You stop waiting for perfect conditions to appear. You begin to act. And with every action you take, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought. That proof fuels your self-belief and keeps you moving forward, even when challenges appear. Let's imagine two people lose their jobs on the same day. One spends months complaining about the economy, the unfair boss, and the lack of opportunities. The other takes a week to process the loss, then updates their skills, applies for new roles, and even considers starting a small side business. Which one is more likely to move forward? The second one, of course. The difference isn't in the situation, it's in the decision to take responsibility. Another important part of responsibility is consistency. Big change doesn't happen overnight. It comes from daily actions, small steps taken again and again. When you take responsibility, you stop expecting miracles and start building progress. You realize that your health depends on your habits, your success depends on your discipline, and your happiness depends on your perspective. Instead of waiting for someone else to fix things, you take ownership and do the work yourself. This doesn't mean life will suddenly become easy, but it does mean you will stop feeling helpless. You will stop wasting energy wishing things were different and start investing energy in making them different. That shift alone can change your entire journey. So remember this. Responsibility is not a burden, it's a gift. It's the realization that your life is yours and no one else can live it for you. The more responsibility you take, the more control you have over your future. And once you embrace that, you stop being a passenger in life and become the driver of your own path. Point 5. Start with small steps forward. When people think about change, they often imagine it as something big and dramatic, like turning their whole life upside down in one day. But the truth is, lasting change usually starts with very small, consistent steps. The mountain may look impossible to climb if you stare at the peak, but when you focus on taking one step at a time, the climb becomes possible. After accepting your situation, adjusting your mindset, focusing on what you can control, and taking responsibility, the next step is simple. Move forward, even if it's tiny progress. Don't wait for the perfect moment to act, because that moment rarely comes. Start with what you have, where you are, and with the little strength you can gather today. For example, if your health is suffering, don't pressure yourself to run 5 miles tomorrow. Start by drinking more water, taking a short walk, or choosing one healthier meal. If your finances are struggling, don't get overwhelmed thinking about becoming rich overnight. Start by saving a small amount, learning about money management, or cutting unnecessary expenses. Small steps may not feel powerful in the moment, but over time they create momentum. The beauty of small steps is that they build confidence. Every time you take action, even a tiny one, you prove to yourself that you're capable of moving forward. That proof gives you the courage to take the next step and then the next. Before you realize it, those little actions add up to a big transformation. Think of change like planting a seed. You don't plant it today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it daily, give it sunlight, and protect it. Slowly it grows roots, then sprouts, and eventually becomes strong enough to stand on its own. In the same way, the small steps you take today may not look like much, but they're planting the roots of your future. So don't underestimate the power of small beginnings. Don't compare your journey with someone else's. Focus on your next step, however small it may seem. Each step forward is proof that you are not stuck. You are moving, you are growing, and you are changing. In the end, it's not giant leaps that transform your life, but the small, steady steps you take every single day. Point 6. Learn the lesson hidden in every struggle. Every situation we go through, whether good or bad, carries a lesson. The problem is, most of us are so busy feeling angry, sad, or frustrated that we miss the message life is trying to give us. Struggles are not just random punishments. They are experiences designed to teach us something valuable. And if you can find the lesson inside your challenge, you turn pain into wisdom. Think about it. Every mistake teaches you what not to do. Every rejection shows you where you need to grow. Every delay builds your patience. Every loss reminds you of what truly matters. Life is a teacher that doesn't always use gentle methods. Sometimes the lessons hurt, but they shape you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. For example, imagine someone who trusted the wrong people and ended up hurt. The pain of betrayal feels unbearable, but hidden inside that experience is a powerful lesson about setting boundaries, choosing friends wisely, and valuing self-respect. Without that painful moment, they might have continued to trust blindly and suffered even more. The situation was hard, but the lesson was priceless. When you look at struggles this way, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and instead start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That small change in perspective transforms suffering into growth. Instead of feeling like a victim, you begin to feel like a student of life. Another important thing about lessons is that they prepare you for the future. Life has a way of repeating the same test until you learn from it. If you ignore the lesson, you may find yourself in the same painful situation again and again. But once you learn, you break the cycle. That's why embracing the lesson is not just about healing, it's about preventing future pain. Learning lessons also builds resilience. Each time you survive a hardship and gain wisdom from it, you become stronger for the next challenge. You realize, if I got through that, I can get through this too. This quiet confidence gives you peace, even when life throws unexpected storms at you. So how do you find the lesson in your struggle? Start by reflecting. Write down what happened, how it made you feel, and what it revealed about yourself, others, or life. Then ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? How can I grow from this? When you turn reflection into action, the lesson becomes part of your growth, not just a memory of pain. The truth is, life's toughest situations often teach us the most important truths. Strength doesn't come from comfort. It comes from challenges. Wisdom doesn't come from smooth roads. It comes from rocky paths. Growth doesn't happen when everything goes right. It happens when you learn to rise after everything goes wrong. So instead of resenting your struggles, try to embrace them as hidden opportunities to learn. They may not make sense now, but one day you'll look back and realize that every lesson shaped you into who you are meant to become. Point 7. Build patience and trust the process. In today's fast-paced world, we're used to instant results. With a single click, we can order food, book a ride, or get answers online. This convenience makes us believe that change in life should also happen instantly. But real transformation doesn't work that way. When it comes to healing, growing, or building something meaningful, patience is the key. Many people give up too soon because they don't see results right away. They accept their situation, change their mindset, start small steps, and then, after a few weeks, feel discouraged when nothing major has changed yet. But here's the truth. Progress is often invisible at first. Seeds take time to break through the soil. Muscles take time to grow with training. Confidence takes time to develop through repeated practice. Just because you don't see results immediately doesn't mean nothing is happening. Think of it like planting a tree. For a long time, you only see the soil. You water it every day, you protect it, and you wait. Underneath, roots are growing deep, creating a strong foundation. Only after patience and consistent care does the tree begin to rise above the ground. Life works the same way. The efforts you make today may not show instantly, but they are building your future quietly. Patience also teaches you humility. It reminds you that some things are beyond your timing and control. You can put in the effort, but you cannot force results. This is where trust comes in, trusting the process, trusting your journey, and sometimes trusting a higher power. When you trust, you release unnecessary pressure and allow yourself to focus on what you can do instead of stressing over what you can't control. Another gift of patience is emotional strength. Waiting is not easy, but it trains your heart to stay calm in uncertainty. It teaches you not to rush decisions out of fear, but to move steadily with wisdom. People who lack patience often jump at the first opportunity or give up when things get tough. But those who practice patience learn to endure, to wait, and to keep going even when progress is slow. That endurance becomes their strength. The truth is, every meaningful achievement in life requires time. Building a career, healing from heartbreak, developing a skill, or creating financial stability, none of these happen overnight. If you expect instant success, you'll be disappointed. But if you accept that the process will take time and you commit to it with patience, you'll not only reach your goal, you'll also enjoy the growth that comes along the way. So when you feel frustrated by slow progress, remind yourself, I'm not failing, I'm growing roots. Trust that your consistent efforts will bear fruit, even if you can't see it yet. Patience is not about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about continuing to act while believing that results will come in the right time. In the end, patience and trust are the bridges between acceptance and change. Without them, you'll always quit too early. But with them, you'll develop the strength to endure, the wisdom to keep going, and the faith to see your struggles turn into success. Point 8. Surround yourself with positive influence. One of the most powerful ways to change your life after accepting your situation is to pay attention to the people around you. The company you keep can either lift you higher or pull you down. If you spend too much time with negativity, pessimism, or people who constantly complain, you may find your own mindset and motivation slipping. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with supportive, encouraging, and growth-minded individuals can inspire you, push you forward, and keep you on track toward positive change. Think about it. We are social creatures. The way we think, feel, and act is strongly influenced by the people we interact with. When you are around those who believe in possibilities, who focus on solutions instead of problems, and who celebrate progress, you start to adopt the same habits. Their energy becomes contagious, and it lifts your spirits even on tough days. Conversely, spending time with people who dwell on complaints, make excuses, or doubt everything can reinforce your own fears and hesitation. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean ignoring reality. It doesn't mean only spending time with people who agree with you or pretend everything is perfect. It means intentionally seeking out those who inspire, guide, and challenge you to be better, even in difficult times. These are people who push you to grow, support your journey, and help you see opportunities where you might only see obstacles. Positive influence also comes from more than just people. It can be books, podcasts, videos, or any content that feeds your mind with encouragement, ideas, and motivation. Filling your mind with uplifting and inspiring messages shapes your thoughts and helps you take consistent action. Another important point is that positivity reinforces accountability. When you are part of a growth-minded circle, you naturally start following the habits, routines, and actions that lead to success. You begin to set higher standards for yourself because the environment encourages it. Slowly, the positive influence around you transforms your mindset, strengthens your determination, and supports your journey of change. Ultimately, accepting your situation and taking control becomes much easier when your environment supports you. You start to see what's possible, believe in your own potential, and take the necessary steps forward. Life may throw challenges, but with positive influence around you, you never feel alone and you never stop growing. So choose your environment wisely. Surround yourself with people, ideas, and experiences that lift you higher, challenge you to be better, and remind you of the power you already have within. Positive influence is like sunlight for your soul. It nourishes growth, keeps you strong, and helps you flourish even in the toughest conditions. Point 9, choose growth over excuses. Friends, when life challenges us, we often find ourselves at a crossroads. One path is filled with excuses, and the other is filled with growth. Excuses are easy. They give us temporary comfort, a reason to justify why we couldn't achieve something. But growth requires courage. It demands that we accept the situation, however painful, and decide to change what we can. This is the real difference between people who live stuck in the same place for years and those who rise to new heights despite difficulties. Excuses may sound harmless at first. You might say, I can't start a business because I don't have enough money, or I can't improve my health because I don't have time. But here's the truth. These excuses are walls you build around yourself. They keep you trapped in your current situation. Growth, on the other hand, is about asking, how can I start with what I have? Or what small step can I take today? Instead of saying you don't have money to start a business, maybe you can start learning skills for free online. Instead of saying you don't have time for health, maybe you can commit to 10 minutes of exercise daily. Growth begins with small shifts like these. Think about every great achiever. None of them started with perfect conditions. They started with what they had, where they were, and they grew by choosing action over excuses. Growth means you stop waiting for the right time and start making this moment the right time. It means you look at your weaknesses, not with shame, but as areas where you can become stronger. When you choose growth, you also inspire others, your family, friends, even strangers. People notice when someone refuses to hide behind excuses and instead embraces change. They see strength, and that strength multiplies. You become an example that progress is possible, even in the toughest circumstances. So the next time you feel stuck, ask yourself, am I choosing excuses or am I choosing growth? Remember, excuses keep you where you are, but growth takes you where you dream to be. Accept the situation as it is, then refuse to let excuses control your life. Choose growth. It's the path that leads to freedom, strength, and success. Point 10. Take action and keep moving forward. After accepting the situation, changing your mindset, focusing on what you can control, taking responsibility, starting small steps, learning the lessons, building patience, surrounding yourself with positive influence, and choosing growth over excuses, the final and most crucial step is action. Nothing changes in life without action. You can think, plan, or visualize all you want, but until you actually do something, your situation will stay the same. Taking action means using every bit of clarity, strength, and knowledge you have to make progress, even if it's just a small step. Many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect plan. The truth is that perfect moment rarely comes. Action doesn't need to be grand or perfect. It only needs to start. The first step, however small, sets the momentum for bigger changes. Think about life like a wheel. A wheel only moves forward when it spins. You can polish it, plan its route, or think about it endlessly, but it won't move until it turns. Similarly, your ideas, your goals, and your potential won't move forward unless you act. Even small actions repeated consistently create a powerful force over time. Taking action also builds courage. The first time you act despite fear, hesitation, or doubt, you discover that you are capable of more than you imagine. Each subsequent action becomes easier because your confidence grows. Action turns knowledge into experience, dreams into reality, and hope into tangible results. Another important aspect of action is resilience. Life is never a straight path. Obstacles, failures, and unexpected challenges are part of the journey. But when you keep moving forward, even after setbacks, you build the ability to recover quickly and continue pursuing your goals. Every forward step reinforces the truth that you are stronger than any challenge. Finally, action creates opportunities. The more you move, the more doors open. Sometimes these doors appear in unexpected ways, and often they reveal possibilities you couldn't have imagined when you were standing still. The combination of acceptance, mindset, patience, learning, and positive influence prepares you for these opportunities. But action is what allows you to walk through them. So commit today to take consistent action, no matter how small. Stop waiting for perfection or certainty. Accept where you are, believe in your potential, and step forward. Even if the journey is long, each step brings you closer to change, growth, and success. Remember, life rewards those who move, not those who wait. Your journey doesn't end here. Every day is another chance to act, to learn, and to improve. Take that chance. Keep moving, and slowly but surely you will transform your situation, your life, and yourself. As we come to the end of this journey, remember this: life will always present challenges, unexpected situations, and moments that feel beyond your control. But the power to change your life has always been within you. By accepting the situation, adjusting your mindset, focusing on what you can control, taking responsibility, starting with small steps, learning the lessons, practicing patience, surrounding yourself with positive influence, choosing growth, and taking consistent action, you hold the keys to your own transformation. Nothing in life changes until you decide to take charge. It starts with acceptance, but it grows through action. Each small step, each lesson learned, each moment of patience builds the foundation for the future you've always dreamed of. The road may not be easy, but it will always be worth it. So today, make a promise to yourself. No matter what challenges you face, you will keep moving forward. You will turn obstacles into opportunities, failures into lessons, and doubts into determination. Your life is your responsibility, and the best time to act is now. Thank you for spending this time with Mind-Blowing Motive. If this message resonated with you, take it to heart, apply it, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that they have the power to change their life. Stay motivated, stay consistent, and keep believing in yourself, because you are capable of incredible things.